Solving for a variable when fractions and decimals are involved. Let's say we have 1/5 plus y equals 7/5. How are we going to figure out what this y variable is worth? We have to get it alone. So we have to subtract 1/5 from this side. Since we have a positive 1/5 over here, in order to get rid of it, we have to subtract it out. Now, whatever we do to this left-hand side, we have to do to our right-hand side. So we're left with y equals 7/5 minus 1/5. Or in other words, y equals, these are going to stay the same since we're subtracting. What is 7 minus 1? It's 6 over 5. So y equals 6/5. Let me erase this. About 0.40 plus y equals 2.8. We want to know what y is. So we have to get y alone. So we have to get rid of this positive 0.40. And in order to do that, we're going to have to subtract it out. And because we're doing it to the left, we have to do it to the right side. And this gets rid of our 0.40 over here. We're left with just our y. And over here we have 2.8 minus 0.40. And we end up with y equals 2.4. Let's do some subtraction ones. And feel free to pause these, of course. I might be going kind of fast, but I figure you'll pause them and try them yourself. So y equals, or let's go back, y minus 9/7 equals 11 over 7. I need to get y alone. And I have this minus 9/7 next to it. So instead of subtracting again, this time I'm going to have to actually add 9/7 in order to get rid of it over here. But I also have to add 9/7 on my right side since I did it to the left. And I'm left with y equals 11 over 7 plus 9 over 7. Again, the bottoms don't change because we're adding, we're not multiplying. But the top, 11 plus 9, would be 20. And with same bottom, same denominator, 7. About subtraction with decimals. Y minus 4.6 equals 7.2. Again, we got to get y alone, and we're subtracting 4.6 from y right now. So to get rid of it, we're going to have to add 4.6 to both sides. These get rid of each other, and we're left with y equals 7.2 plus 4.6. And that will come out to what, 11.8? Yes, 11.8. All right, let's do a couple multiplication examples. How about 2 equals x over 0.40. And we want to figure out what x is. Well, to figure out what x is, we're going to have to get rid of this 0.40 in the bottom. And to get rid of something in the denominator, we multiply the denominator by itself. So 0.40 multiplied. These will cancel out. But we had to multiply over here by 0.40 also. So on the right side, we're left with just our x, which is what we want. And on the left side, we have 0.40 multiplied by 2. And 0.40 multiplied by 2 is 0.80. And that's our x. We'll do one with some fractions. Two-fifths is equal to y over 3/5. And we want to figure out what y is. Well, even though there's a fraction in the denominator, we can still multiply that denominator by itself. So we're going to multiply this by 3/5. And that gets rid of our denominator. We have to multiply the other side by 3/5 also, though. And we end up with 3/5 multiplied by 2/5 is equal to our y that we have alone now. Now, multiplying fractions, our denominator is going to change, just like our numerator will. So in the numerator, we have 3 times 2, which equals 6. And in the denominator, we have 5 times 5, which equals 25. And that is our y value. We'll do some multiplication ones now. Get rid of this eraser. How about y multiplied by 3/2, or 3/2, is equal to 9/4. So to get rid of this 3/2 over here, because we're multiplying it by y, we have to divide it out. So 3/2 over 3/2 is just 1. And if it's just 1, then we have y times 1 over here, and which means we just have y. But we also have to divide it out of the, the right-hand side, because we did it to the left-hand side. Now, you could divide it like this. Maybe you can see the answer. But the easiest way to get a fraction out of the denominator is to take it out of the denominator. So 9/4 over 3/2 is the same thing as taking 9/4, our numerator, and multiplying it by the reciprocal of the denominator. Or an easier way to think about it, the flipped version of the denominator. So we would be multiplying it by 2/3 instead of dividing by 3/2. Now we multiply across the top and we get 18. Multiply across the bottom and we get 12. And 18 over 12 is the same thing as 3/2. So we're left with just y equals 3/2. We'll do one with decimals. How about y multiplied by 0.50, put that x, makes it less confusing, equals 4. Again, we're multiplying here, multiplying the y by 0.5. So to get rid of it, we have to divide out the 0.5 to get our y alone. And we also have to do it to the left side, or the right side, since we did it to the left side. So these cancel out, and we're left with just y equals 4 over 0.50. Now, how many times does 0.50 go into 4? And that would be 8. All right, thank you for watching. If you would like more example problems or you have ideas for problems, let me know down in the comment section below.